How to file the BOI, the Beneficial Ownership Information Report. You may have heard about the draconian Beneficial Ownership Information Report. I call it draconian because it's one more step, yet another step by the government to add more regulations. And the people who are most vulnerable, that usually lose out, are going to be the small business owners. For a long time, we were told to open an LLC. We were told, or some people were told, that it's good for taxes. At least that's what I, as a CPA, hear from some people who are looking to open an LLC. It's not good for taxes. We're also told that it is good for liability protection, an LLC, that is. It is good for liability protection. However, now, new regulations under the Treasury Department, they are now telling us that we likely need to file a BOI report, as its acronym is. Beneficial Ownership Information Report. The threat or the punishment for not filing, and the deadline is likely going to be December 31st for most entities. The punishment, it's up to $10,000 and jail time. I don't recall how long, possibly 2 years in jail for intentionally not filing it. So now that you've heard that it's due, I don't know if you can claim or feign ignorance. Ignorance sometimes is bliss, but there still likely would be penalties, even if a person inadvertently did not file the BOI report. So that essentially is my opening to this video, which will be how to file the BOI report yourself. It's fairly simple. The goal of this video will be to walk you through filing a straightforward BOI report. At least you will be able to, after seeing how straightforward it is, to make a decision about whether or not you want to file it yourself or whether or not you want to pay somebody else to do it. And once you see how relatively easy and straightforward it is, you should be able to judge one BOI report preparer from another. If one preparer is charging you $10,000 to file this report and another is charging you $100, it doesn't mean that the $100 preparer does not know what they're doing, assuming that your situation is straightforward. Keep in mind, this is not legal advice. I'm not speaking to you as a CPA here. Please don't sue me or come back. I'm trying to simply impart some information based on what I've seen. I'm not an expert in all the nuances, but I'm comfortable filing my own. So I'm going to share with you how I filed my own. Here we go.
If you go to BOI filing, BOIE filing, and then you select on file BOIR, and then you want to prepare the BOIR, it's going to download it as a PDF. In your downloads, open up the PDF. And here you are. Let's open up a new one, but essentially it is the same thing. So these other tabs are just instructions from the same website. So here, again, initial report, so there would be nothing else is required over here. If you were to select a different one, then various fields would open up as being required. Now, what I want to show you, frequently asked questions. if you look at this link right here, https:// www.fincen.gov/boi-FAQs. That will take you to this page over here. And this page right here is, I got here from the IRS website. Again, typing in beneficial ownership information report into Google, and then looking down here for the irs.gov site. This is report beneficial owner information, clicking on that, and then from the IRS side it takes you to frequently asked questions. Clicking here, and I'll show you what I glanced at. I wanted to see how to get to this particular page without going through that Google search and selecting this particular link. So home, file, businesses and self-employed, small business and self-employed, report beneficial owner information. The reason why I glance at this is because I want to make sure that I'm not reading something that is very specific to a situation that has nothing to do with what I'm doing. For example, if this said home, file, businesses and self-employed, trusts and partnership, report beneficial owner information, then this page right here might have to do only with trusts and partnerships, in which case I would not necessarily want to be here. So, but all of these links appear to be relevant to what the FinCEN's BOI reporting is saying. And once I click on here, it's kind of verified. Looking at the link at the URL over here, this is generic BOI facts, and it is the .gov. So I should be able to get here also from the regular FinCEN web page, which I could try to do. FinCEN.gov, beneficial ownership information, small business resources, view our FAQ page, and this takes me to the exact same page that we were just on. So if we want to look up the type of filing, initial report, correct, prior report, and we didn't know whether or not, let's say we were updating prior report, newly exempt entity, we want to find out more information, we should be able to find that information right here. That would be the type of filing. So what I would do is I would do Control F, type of filing, and nothing pops up for it, of course. So the next thing I would do is I would look up the keyword. And imagine this as a multiple choice. You're supposed to select the type of filing. Is it an initial report, a correct prior report, update prior report? We believe it's initial report. So let's look inside of here for the initial report and see if that is applicable to us. So I look up initial report, and this is what I come up with. When do I have to file an initial beneficial ownership information report with FinCEN? Clicking on here will take the tab all the way down. And I'd like to X out of here. Well, we'll leave that because that highlights all the words initial. If your company existed before January 1st, 2024, it must file its initial beneficial ownership information report by January 1st, 2025. That is in less than a month right now. So far, so good, as long as it existed before this date. If it was registered after that date, then it has 90 calendar days. So we're going to look at ones that were we're going to file the BOI report for companies that existed before January 1st, 2024. That is what the majority of ones that I've seen have going on. The majority of companies that I've worked for, that I've done this for, that I've seen, that I've worked for, irrespective of the BOI report, have existed since prior to January 1st, 2024. And then the last option is if they were created after January 1st, 2025. Then they have 30 calendar days. So keep that in mind. That's it. So that seems like it is thorough for the initial. That seems like it's relevant. Then it asks more questions that might be relevant, and I will just glance at them. But essentially, when do I have to file an initial beneficial ownership information report with FinCEN? I'm satisfied that this should say initial. Now, if I want to update prior report, then this information would need to be filled in. I'm not going to go into why all those differences right now. Reporting company. Reporting company information. What is the reporting company? So again, I would look at that frequently asked questions. That is going to be whoever is filling this out for you. If you're doing it for yourself, it might be yourself. So I would put Michael Wander or Wander CPA right here. If I'm filling it out as an individual or as a company, corporation for clients. This is all going to be information for the reporting company. So if we look over here, everything is going to have information about a reporting company. And here is section C. Just glancing at these FAQs, what companies will be required to report beneficial owner information to FinCEN? Is a sole proprietorship a reporting company? So let's look at, is a reporting company required to use an attorney, certified public accountant, enrolled agent, or other service provider to submit beneficial owner information, ownership information to FinCEN? Who can file a BOI report on behalf of a reporting company, and what information will be collected on filers? So this is what I was mentioning earlier. Anyone a reporting company authorizes. Here we go. FinCEN expects that many, if not most, reporting companies will be able to submit the beneficial ownership information to FinCEN on their own using the guidance FinCEN has issued. Reporting companies that need help meeting their reporting obligations can consult with professional service providers such as lawyers, accountants, or enrolled agents. So that's not required. Who can file it? Anyone that the reporting company authorizes to act on its behalf. Is that provider engaged in the unauthorized practice of law? Generally determined by the state law, and this may vary. So that's their caveat. So here, the reporting company itself. What companies will be required to report beneficial ownership information to FinCEN? This is what the ominous, all-inclusive-ish list of companies or flow of which companies will need to report and file the BOI. Companies required to report are called reporting companies. Companies that are required to report. Makes sense. They're reporting companies. There are two types, either domestic or foreign. We're going to look exclusively at the domestic because I do not work with foreign companies so much. Rarely. So this could include corporations, LLCs. Corporations could be an S corporation. Limited liability companies are the LLCs. And any other entity created by the filing of a document with the Secretary of State or any similar office in the United States. So I do believe this would exclude sole proprietors. However, there are 23 exempt types of entities that are exempt. 23 exempt entities from the reporting requirements. So see section C2. Carefully review the qualifying criteria before concluding that your company is exempt. So we'll look at the exemptions briefly in a minute. But here, under what law was the company created or formed? U.S. laws or laws of a foreign country. Okay. Or as opposed to not being formed at all. I guess that's what this is coming to exclude. Is the company a corporation? Yes, maybe a domestic reporting company. If it's not a corporation, is it an LLC? Yes, then it may be a domestic reporting company. As long as you end up over here, then you are likely to have to file the BOI report. So if it's not a corporation and it's not an LLC, was it created by the filing of a document with the Secretary of State or any similar office under the law of a state or Indian tribe? If no, then it's not a reporting company. If yes, it is, then there you go. As long as it's an LLC or a corporation or was formed through the filing of a document. If you filed a document to form your business, then you may be required to file this BOI report. There you go. Now, that's essentially it. Now, here are some of the exemptions. So if you fall under one of these exemptions, which most people do not, most small businesses do not, then you do not need to file. Inactive entity, if the entity is inactive. Now, I do not know if this means does not have transactions in the current year, calendar year, or if this means that it has to be legally, officially deactivated with the Secretary of State. I would, if that's your situation, I would look into that further. We're not going to. Large operating company. So if it's a large company, then you do not need to report. Subsidiary of certain exempt entities. I'm not going to go through all of these. Public utility. Accounting firm. This might be relevant to myself or to Wander CPA. Okay, so you can look at those. Now, essentially, that is the reporting company. So I stand corrected. Reporting company is not going to be Wander CPA. It's going to be ABC LLC, right? ABC LLC. The EIN, if you're using the EIN, oftentimes LLCs do not have an EIN. You just use your, if your LLC just uses a social security number, then put that number right there. However it files its taxes. If it has an EIN, it should be using the EIN. Country or jurisdiction. I don't know if this can be left blank. No, the state is required. Once the state is required, then the fields that are required will get blanked out, if that's the official term, or not, if they need to be filled in. Current U.S. address. Now, this may be able to be a business address, but there is some place on here. So I'm going to look over here for the address. Reporting company. Can a reporting company report a P.O. box as its current address, right? We are looking at the current U.S. address. That's exactly the FAQ that I'm looking for. No. Must be a U.S. street address and cannot be a P.O. box. FinCEN Small Entity Compliance Guide includes additional information on what must be reported in Chapter 4. What specific information does my company need to report? So let's click on that and see what happens over here. In English. So 57 pages. So this is supposed to be a summary. Chapter 4. So report the address of the principal place of business in the United States, or if the reporting company's principal place of business is not in the United States, the primary location in the United States where the company conducts business. Okay, so this is supposed to be a simplified version for people who do not have the patience or ability to go through this, to utilize this frequently asked questions. However, we can. So let's say 123 Main Street, Los Angeles, California, no, United States, California, 90036. Let's just say. Then, yay, we finished page number 2. All right, on to page number 3. We're halfway there. Existing reporting company. Check if reporting company was created or registered before January 1st, 2024. So if you check this box, you do not need to do page number 3. So if you are the reporting company, and if you were created or registered prior to January 1st, 2024, you do not need to complete the company applicant section. If you do not check it off, then we have to complete this. So let's look over here, just make sure that we are doing this accurately. Okay, so looking over here at company applicant again in this frequently asked questions, it is essentially not the first one, but the second hit is going to be, who is a company applicant of a reporting company? Which reporting companies are required to report company applicants? We want to know, are we even required? So clicking on here, not all reporting companies have to report their company applicants. And we can also look at who is a company applicant of a reporting company. And again, this says only reporting companies created or registered on or after January 1st, 2024 will need to report their company applicants. So who is the company applicant? Either the individual who directly files the document that creates or registers the company, or if more than one person is involved, the person who is primarily responsible. That's the company applicant. Fine, we're not looking at that because most of us had LLCs filed prior to January 1st, 2024. Reporting company must report its company applicants only if it is either a domestic reporting company created in the United States on or after January 1st, 2024, or a foreign reporting company first registered to do business in the United States, blah, 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 because we're not looking at foreign. A reporting company does not have to report its company applicants if it is either, okay, this is saying the same thing that appears, domestic reporting company. Okay, so we are going to skip this one. We are going to say reporting company was created or registered before January 1st, 2024, and move on to the last page. Beneficial owner. Parent or guardian information instead of minor child. Okay, not going to do that. Beneficial owner FinCEN ID. The yellow are the required. The yellow and the red asterisk. Asterisk. Individual's last name or entity's legal name. Who is the beneficial owner? This essentially is going to be on the LLC, limited liability company owner. They're the beneficial owner. So just to view it in the FAQs, let's say it's me, Michael Wander. My birthday, let's say it was January 1st, 2000. That would make me how old right now? 24. Not my age. The format must be correct. There we go. That's the format. My address. Now, residential address. This is asking for your residential address. Your residential address, where you live, of the beneficial owner. So, looking over here, just to see residential address. Residential address. Your residential address is required to be reported. Okay? there you go. Now, I don't know if it's going to become public information. I do not believe it will be, but I have no clue. Right now, at this point, I do not have any idea. Let's say it's 456 My Home Drive in Tucson, Arizona, United States. Okay. I went way too far down. Arizona. Whatever that zip code is. Okay. Identifying document type, state issued driver's license, identifying number F76543. County, country, United States, state, California. Add attachment. You must add an attachment. So let's say you want to you take a picture of your driver's license, upload it right there, and then that is it. Then you go back home, validate. Item 51, identifying document, image is required. That's the only item that's required over here. See, fairly straightforward. Fairly simple. This is not the correct date of birth, so we'll pretend like I'm 24 right now. And that is how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. You would save this down, then you would go to here, submit BOI report. You would complete these fields and attach your BOI report PDF. So let's say I saved it. So I want to add an attachment. Say I'll add this file right here. This file is in use. So let me close that file out. I should be able to add it. Nope, it has to be JPEG. So go here to pictures. I'll put this picture on it. Perfect. Winner of the Muay Thai competition. And then I'm going to save this, close out of here, and I should be able to open this up and see everything still completely filled out. I hope I didn't just waste all that time. And here it is, all completely filled out. That's great. I check it. Want to make sure that it is saved there before I upload it. Then I go over here. Email, I would put, if I'm filling it out, I would put mine, because you're going to get a page confirming the status of your report. Choose from the folder. Go to your folder. I don't got to go through all this because you know how to do this. And that's it. Agree. Once that's all filled out, let them know that you're a human. Gives you little pictures, blah, blah, blah. Submit it. And then you should get an email that tells you that it was submitted. Now, yesterday when I submitted it online, it took a while. I thought it did not go through. I thought I did not have any verification, but after about half an hour, I finally got an email back. But what I did is I took snapshots. I took screenshots of everything that I did, including once I submitted it, at least online, there was a tracking number in the URL. I took a screenshot of it. I recorded it. I took a screenshot when it said this page could not be reached. That included the date down here on the bottom right. So that way, if I ever got questioned, I would be able to show that I did everything I could to submit it. And I did actually submit it. It just was not giving me the verification until much later. Oh, for me, it felt like much later. Hope you got some value out of here. Would love to hear your comments below. If you want anything else, for me to go through anything else, please let me know that as well. If you would like to subscribe, I would appreciate it. And have a great day.